Hello, it's Magnus here again, and today I want to discuss what was up with all that autofocus controversy with the GH5 and what do we have to expect when it comes to new camera announcements going forward. I just want to quickly give you my thoughts and summarize what I basically think of the camera industry when they announce a new camera. Here it is.
When talking about the GH5, I've been testing it for a few weeks and I can honestly say it's been a great camera so far. Yeah, sometimes the imperfect autofocus can cause frustration since you have to go to update the settings for different shooting scenarios, but it doesn't matter. Manual focus and go. The truth is, I knew the autofocus was not one of the reasons I would get the camera, but everything else about it was why I would. This brings up an interesting subject. Why is it that whenever a new camera is announced, everyone gets excited about how awesome the camera will be and all the great features it's going to have, only to have all the gripes and unaddressed issues come up only after the camera is released? A couple of months ago and before the GH5 was released, I discussed my concerns regarding autofocus with the GH5. At this point, I even stated that maybe the autofocus features wouldn't be that great.
Camera, I'm looking forward to it, but I'm going to wait to see if it's for me because a really big deciding factor, like I said, is the autofocus features. And everything else I'm sure will be great with the camera.
At this point, no one really knew that autofocus would have blown up as the issue it was going to be, though some users did have their suspicions. In some cases, it was shown as working okay and it would be fine. Fast forward to a short time after the camera's released and oh boy, autofocus turned from a feature that doesn't matter and we shouldn't be concerned about, to a feature that everyone was testing and either bashing or claiming that they had found the best settings. And this information was only realized and considered important after the camera was released. Why did it suddenly matter? Because people who claimed autofocus wasn't important suddenly realized that it was an important issue, and YouTubers jumped on the fact that this feature mattered to a lot of people. Heck, even I did, and was quick to do my own test right away. To be honest, this feature can probably be addressed with a good firmware update. Autofocus does work on the camera, but let's be honest, you've got to set the right settings on the camera just to get it going. This was the GH5's major flaw, according to my opinion. Many manufacturers try to put out the most comfortable and pleasing settings as factory default on their products when they're released, so that first impressions are positively received. Let's look at my unboxing of the 5D Mark IV video late last year. This is essentially me opening the box and testing the camera for the first time. As you can see by this footage, with autofocus turned on, the camera had virtually no problem autofocusing on when it needed to right away. Now that camera has got a ton of autofocus custom settings for you to adjust at your heart's content, but the important part is that it worked out of the box. Now let's take a look at my GH5 unboxing video. I take the camera out of the box, make sure the autofocus is on, point it around at stuff, and there's the footage. Now I didn't want to harshly judge the autofocus since I was using a Metabones adapter, but after I got my hands on a 14-140 Panasonic lens, the results were not much different after all. How did this pass quality assurance test? This just shouldn't have happened. So now we can move on from that drama. The GH5 is a great camera, and we can now film with a very highly capable camera that can record 422 10-bit with minimal issues. Yeah. And on that note, the Sony A9 was announced, and it's going to be great. And there will be nothing to worry about with this perfect camera. Right? Right? Oh, we'll just see what happens.
There you have it, my thoughts. Hopefully the A9 turns out to be great. But my piece that I had just now was basically an opinion piece. So it's just the way I perceive things and the way I see things. So in that case, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about what I had just presented right now? Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? It's up to you. Leave your comments down below, hit that like button, and of course, as always, you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. Take care.